Bold and Bougie, baby. Bold and Bougie by Carlos King on WeTV.
That's
Coach
right.
Jay.
That's right.
Get a little taste. Get a little taste of your way that you explain your show, the show that you're on with you and your cast members.
I think Bold and Bougie is simply about an ensemble cast and they're living their best life unapologetically. Like, we've always been the cheerleaders for everyone else. So basically, we're showing up now for ourselves. And we're just, living life. We're focusing on our businesses, our personal lives, and everything that encompasses that.
Okay. Now you yourself, this is not your first go round on TV, right?
No, it's not.
Right. You worked in as a hair stylist in LA at Kim Kimball.
I did. I was on LA Hair. Yep.
Right. I was living in LA at that time. I remember those days. Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
What did you come and get beautified by any one of us from the salon?
I want to say I had met Angela.
Oh yeah,
I had met
Styles.
Angela. Yes, because I was working for another media outlet at the time, Bossip. So it's like there were certain things I didn't get glamified over there, but I did, report on you guys, and I also watched LA Hair. So,
Okay.
but no, I remember where the shop was and everything. I had to come over there and do an interview or two one time. So,
Yeah, this is a total different concept. So it's totally different from LA Hair. I mean, LA Hair was pretty much kind of scripted, non-scripted, but this show with Bold and Bougie is totally non-scripted. So it's like real reality.
right. So, how is it for you moving from LA? Well, first of all, how long have you been in Atlanta?
I've been in Atlanta since 2010. So 14 years.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny because I literally moved to LA 2010. So I moved 2010 and then came back 2015. So I just missed you, sis. So with you being in Atlanta, that's 14 years. 4 restaurants, right? 4 restaurants. That's big. That's big.
Yes.
How did you even get to the first one?
So first of all, I tell people when I moved here in 2010, I literally had moved here and I had started with nothing. I had lost everything after 2008, whatever. I lost everything when I moved here. And so my mom literally was signing for me to get a place to stay. And I was starting from the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got here and I started doing hair, which that was what I used to do before I moved here anyway. And 2014, I moved to the south side of town, and I always wanted to open up a breakfast restaurant, but of course, the world crashed back in 2008,
Yeah.
and I crashed with it. So it was no need to open a restaurant at that time. So,
Gotcha.
after 2014, I'm moving on the south side. There was no restaurants over here outside of chain restaurants. I thought it would be a great idea to open up a breakfast restaurant.
Okay.
And what people don't know about me is I used to always cook. So all my friends will always come over my house and I would cook. And this has been going on for years. My mother had 9 siblings, and then all of them cooked. And then of course on my father's side, his mother was a chef. So I learned from her as well. So I always had it in me, honestly, but I chose to, start my career in doing hair. And then once I got on this side of town, I found a place, that was available, and then the rest was history.
Oh,
Right.
okay. I love it. I mean, so, I know as watching Bold and Bougie, you talk about your restaurants and you also talk about your new products. Now, I don't want to try them products, but unfortunately, I have to live a gluten-free lifestyle. So if you ever make your products and they're gluten-free, I'll be your first ambassador. I promise. So on the first episode of Bold and Bougie, you have a party completely centered around your new products, right? And it's called Black Aspen. And baby, you showed up in a bikini and a fur. I was like, go check it. Okay. Okay, so I saw that you said that you are known for your pool parties and everything. So with now filming involved with your pool parties, were you concerned about anything at all?
I wasn't really concerned about anything. I was more concerned about how everyone was going to look and how everyone was going to behave. Because when we come to the parties at my house, everyone lets their hair down and we're not filming. So it's like we do whatever we want to do.
Right.
So that was the only thing I was concerned about. And, just really concerned making sure that the guests still had a good time. Because, when you're filming, it's like we have to play clear music, and definitely is not something that we want to hear. But yeah, it ended up turning out great. The bottom line for me that was major was I got a chance to, show my product, launch my product, and they showed it. And so that was an amazing experience for me because, it's my new line of gourmet pancakes and grits. So I thought it turned out well.
Nice. All right. So the thing I did notice at your party was you had some first time introductions. Specifically Tamika and Crystal.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that Manyetta's name was mentioned was
I was hoping you didn't bring it up.
Of course I'm gonna bring it up. I rewatched the episode this morning, especially after your comments. Now I'm gonna get to those in a second. But the amount of times that Manyetta's name was mentioned, I was just like, it made me question, like, Crystal and Manyetta got beat? Like, I could have sworn I've seen them in interviews before saying, like, we have a cohesive co-parenting relationship. And then at one point when Crystal was about to break up with Neo the first time and get a divorce, her and Mo were on a YouTube live thing talking about, like, how they deal with, like, when they are having marital problems or relationship problems, they go cry in the closet and don't cry in front of the kids. So how do you feel? Do you feel that your castmates like Tamika and not so much Malaysia, but she did kind of like insert it a little bit? Do you feel like they are completely blowing it out of proportion in terms of Crystal and the Manyetta situation?
I think that incident was definitely not viewed right. I think it definitely was their first time meeting each other. And I think Manyetta's name was brought up so many times because I think they were thinking about bringing her on the show, according to Carlos' conversation. And according to her contract, she was not able to come on the show. I don't think that they have any beef with each other. I think that was just a storyline to introduce Manyetta to the show. But I definitely think that they are co-parenting or able, they still are in each other's life and view each other as families because the kids are, sisters and brothers, basically. Right. So I don't think they have any beef at all. I think people are just taking it and running with it. And Tamika, Tamika is just Tamika at the end of the day. And why you would introduce yourself as, oh, Manyetta is my friend, and I think she's totally misstepped on that. But I'm sure she's looking back at it like, what the hell did I say? Like, you see at the end, she was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna excuse myself. I'm in other people's business, blah, 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 blah. So right. I think she caught herself at the end, but I definitely think that Manyetta and Crystal are cool.
It was a little too late when she caught herself. I was like, sis, you're the reason this conversation is happening right now.
Yeah.
There's nobody else.
I think it's a lot of stuff that was in the blogs or whatever, or conversation that makes people view people in a different light. Because I even asked Crystal myself, like, so you never had a threesome with them before? Because that's what they were saying. The reason why, they broke up was because of her. And she said that's definitely not true. So, I mean, I guess, blogs can be misleading, and she had an opportunity to defend herself on the show. So we'll see.
Now, I will say, baby, I do not want to be in the room when you are the one hosting the party. And when Tamika came up and said what she said to Crystal, and she walked away, you said, Who this for? What she say? The look in your face was like, if Crystal said this girl said the wrong thing, I'm about to go over there and push her ass in the pool. That was the look on your face, like, oh, like you even said she over here doing all that. I wouldn't come over and do this and da 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 da.
I mean, like, I don't like people to mistreat people based on somebody else's, experience. Like, you need to view people based on how they've treated you. And I feel like the way she approached Crystal was definitely not proper. Right. And they were at my house. So it's like, you're at my house. And I definitely don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, and you guys are just meeting. And I'm over here like, yeah, everybody's cool. Everybody should get along. Da, da, da. And then you get to the party like, oh, yeah, she's my friend. And I'm like, oh, man, this is crazy.
Because I heard they friends now, but we're going to say that for a later date. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to bring it out. But I will speak about y'all were on Dish Nation. And you were asked to describe everybody as a certain type of spice. And you called Tamika jalapeno cheddar. And she replied, that stink. And you said, so is your attitude.
So that describes her personality. That describes her totally. Her attitude stinks. I mean, she's a great person when she wants to be, but she definitely has, like, her personality is all over the place. So you never know which person you're going to get when you're speaking to her. So that describes her perfectly.
I caught that shade. I said, ooh. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. I ain't had no popcorn at that time, but I definitely would have had it then. So one thing I also did, it's just funny in these highlights of what they showed when you and Tamika were at the park. Like, so what is the true dynamic of your relationship? Because when y'all were at the park, she was walking away and you was like, I see why you're single. Like,
I mean, like, seriously, like, her personality is all over the place. So it's like one day we might be cool. The next time I meet up with her, she owns some BS. And it's just always like that with her. You just never know what you're going to get. But at the end of the day, I feel like she has a great heart and she means well, but she just comes off the wrong way. Like, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's like real, like a family reunion. You go to a family reunion, you be like, oh gosh, such and such here. Right. So you'll never know how to take them at the reunion. But I feel like it's the same with all the girls. Like, they're all cool, but at the end of the day, we have disagreements, and it's how we handle the disagreements at the end of the day that separates everything.
So now I was gonna say, because I just found it funny that the way they highlighted those certain type of situations and what's to come and what we're gonna see. What about your dynamic with Crystal? Because right now it seems like it's Gocha and Team Crystal, but then it looked like it was a small little peak where it's like, no, it ain't, sis. This ain't what you thought.
So it's like, for me on the show is like, I'm always trying to make sure that people are holding, themselves to a certain standard. Like, if something is said about you or whatever, I'ma ask. And if I ask, you don't have to actually answer the question if you don't want to, but at least I'm going to ask you if I want to ask you something.
Right. Is that how you feel the ladies should address things that are in their past? Because
absolutely, I tell them all the time. If something's out about you, why wouldn't you want to paint the narrative? Why wouldn't you want to jump in front of it to, get your story out? After that, then I can see you saying, I don't want to talk about it no more. I've already discussed that. So that's all I do is I try to hold everybody accountable. And so they get upset with me because of that. But I just feel like that makes you a real person, period.
Right.
I mean, whatever it is, people not going to like everything that you say and do. So being that they don't like everything that you say and do, that still gives you an opportunity to address it and say hell with it.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to watch more of the season. I'm going to tune in tonight with my popcorn. Give me a little bit more Malibu
We don't have that much left, so you got to go re-up.
Yeah, it's out there on the liquor bar at the house. So, and then my hookah. So with that being said, as the season goes on, I am going to have you back. And instead of hot topics, we're going to do a 101, baby. But I'm going to need a food tasting. I ain't going to hold you. I can eat grits. I just can't eat flour and wheat. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Sheldon, for being here. Thank you, Gocha. I really, truly appreciate it. So with that being said, Gocha, let them know where they can find you besides BTV every Thursday night, 9 o'clock, Bold and Bougie. Where else can they find you?
Yes, they can find me at Gocha's Tapas Bar every Thursday night watching the show for the watch party. Outside that, they can find me on all social media at Gocha Hawkins or Gocha's Breakfast Bar. Okay. And you can buy the grits and pancakes at gochasbreakfastbar.com.
I'm about the grits. Sheldon, let them know. Let them know where they can find you at. Unmute. Unmute.
My bad. Sheldon G. Horton, everywhere. Everywhere. Yes, and Gocha, congratulations. You have a very inspiring story. And it was so good to hear you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I just can't wait to have a more in-depth conversation when she tried to get Crystal to switch over to the ladies' pond. But we're going to say that for
Listen, I just give them options because, everybody having all these men problems. So maybe you should just switch over to the other side. You won't have all these problems.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm your host, Saint CJ. This is Insta News Break. Tongue twister. Insta News Break, powered by InStyle Atlanta. We do this every single week. The hot topics, the things you want to know, the things you're worried about, the things you can't say, and we'll say them for you. So with that being said, you can find me at saint.cj on Instagram. Why do I always forget that? And I think I'm on Snapchat, Saint CJ, and Facebook. You know what? It don't matter. Just find me on Instagram, or you can find me on With That Being Said on Instagram as well, or in InStyle Atlanta. And also, when we drop our season 2 of our show, InStyle Atlanta Uncut.
Okay.
I ain't ready. Y'all think this is but you know what? Nah, this is all fun and games, and I love doing this. But y'all stay cool. Y'all stay blessed. Don't stress. Next week, we up and out. Bye.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
In the heart of Atlanta, where secrets simmer and tensions rise, comes a reality TV show like no other. Old conflicts continue.
So this is where the whole issue started.
Fuck you! She know I don't fuck with her.
Expect the unexpected.
In our industry, anything could happen.
He what?
Canceled last minute, and his publicist called and was just like, I'm so sorry.
The event is literally tomorrow. What are we gonna do? I gotta figure out something fast.
It's time to take this to a new level.
It's always some type of foolishness going on.
I told you, babe, we gotta do shit that makes sense.
If your shit go right, then I can frame your company up and then bring in collaboration.
When it comes to the team, let me manage that.
Too much energy.
I don't care.
Business and pleasure sometimes doesn't always mix.
What's up with your love life?
I'm single and ready to mingle, baby.
They doing the shucky ducky like you doing the shucky ducky, and y'all mix the business with pleasure.
He's the one who put in all my life.
That man married, cause that's your little boyfriend.
He has more things going on than he is supposed to.
Like a wife?
Yes.
But in the end, it's all about business.
Don't come here to do me any favors.
This your thing, is your rule. That's it.